Namaste. Welcome to Samskriti. We are in the fourth Sarga of Sundarakandam in the Adhyatma Ramayanam series. When the Lord of Monkeys Hanuman was passing through the city, pretending to be scared after being captured and tied by Brahma Pasha, he looked around the city and its inhabitants. The citizens assembled from all the nook and corners to have a glimpse of him and followed him mockingly, angrily punching him with their clenched fists. The Brahmastra touched the body of Hanuman only for a fraction of a moment on account of the boon given by Brahma to Hanuman. As a result, Hanuman was released from the bondage of the Brahma missile. He knew it, but yet he allowed himself to be subjected by those humble ropes for the greater cause that he had decided to do for Rama. Hanuman was now brought before Ravana, who was seated in the assembly of his ministers. Presenting him, Indrajit said, "With the help of Brahma's boon, I have brought this monkey who was responsible for killing so many Asura warriors. O father, consult with the ministers and decide what to do with him. He is no ordinary monkey." Thereupon, the king of Rakshasas, Ravana, looked at his minister Prahasta, who was dark in complexion. He said, "O Prahasta, ask this monkey why he has come here. What is his business here? Where has he come from? Why has he ruined my Ashokavana? And why has he killed my Rakshasa troops so ruthlessly?" Then Prahasta questioned Hanuman most politely, "O monkey, who has sent you over here? Don't be afraid. I shall get you released if you tell the truth about yourself before the emperor." Thereupon, Hanuman was delighted to see face to face the enemy Ravana, who was the oppressor of the three worlds. The son of wind god then invoked Rama in his heart and started to narrate the sanctifying story of Rama from the very beginning. He said, "O Ravana, the enemy of the Devas, listen attentively. I am the messenger of Rama who resides in the heart of all the beings. You have stolen away his chaste wife like a dog stealthily takes away the offerings of a fire sacrifice. You have thereby paved the way for your own destruction." Rama came to Matanga Parvata, that is Rishyamukha mountains, and made friends with Sugriva with the sacred fire as witness, and subsequently killed Vali with a single arrow and installed Sugriva as the king of monkeys. That powerful king of monkeys is presently staying in great anger on Mount Praharshana along with Rama and Lakshmana and a huge army of courageous monkeys. He has deputed powerful monkey leaders to search in all 10 directions and find out about the whereabouts of Sita. I am one such monkey, son of wind god, who has come here after much search. I have already seen the lotus-eyed Sita. Then I have destroyed the trees of Ashokavana due to my inherent nature as a monkey. Thereafter, I found many of your emissaries equipped with bows and arrows coming in great anger to attack and kill me. So I had to kill them in self-defense, O king, because the body is dear to all the creatures. Finally, Meghanada came and tied me with the Brahma Pasha and has brought me here in captivity. Because of a boon given to me by Brahma, the effect of that missile lasted only for a moment, and I was released after that. O Ravana, I know this fact. Still, I came here tied in shackles just to tell you something concerning your welfare out of my compassion and mercy for you. O Ravana, by the practice of discrimination, understand the extremely trivial and temporary nature of this world. O Ravana, abandon your evil nature of a Rakshasa. For the ultimate good of your soul, practice virtuous conduct that will lead to liberation from the travails of samsara. You are born in the great lineage of Brahma, being the grandson of Rishi Pulastya and the brother of Kubera. Hence, you are not a Rakshasa even by virtue of your birth, genealogy and relationships, that is, in a physical sense. And from the point of view of the spirit, it is needless to say that you are not a demon. I shall tell you the nature of your pure self, which you have forgotten. The real you, or the self, has none of the series of miseries arising from the body, intellect, and senses, because the real you is only the unperturbed and unaffected witness of all these changes. The actual involvement in these changes belongs to the body mind complex. It is just like the experience of one sleeping. The series of dream experiences which sleep brings about end with the dream. They are the effects of the delusive ignorance characteristic of sleep. As far as the real self is concerned, the bodily experiences are unreal in the same way. This unaffectedness is the truth in regard to the nature of your real self. You are by nature changeless, for the self being non-dual, there can be no cause to effect change in it. Like the sky, which pervades all objects but is not affected by anything, your real self, though pervading the body, is not affected by the bodily experiences because of its subtlety. All bondages arise from the sense of identification of the complex, that is the body, mind, prana, with the real self. And liberation consists in experiencing I am the pure consciousness, I am the unbound, I am deathless, I am pure bliss. The body, which is born of the element earth, is not the self, nor is prana the Atman, because it is a modification of the element air. Mind also is not the self, because it is an effect of ahankara, the I sense. As for buddhi, intellect, it is a modification of prakriti and is not the self. The Atman is pure consciousness and bliss. He is devoid of changes like birth, and he, being separate from the body-mind complex, is only their witness and director. He is separate from all adjuncts through which he manifests. By himself, he is ever pure. Knowing the Atman as such, one attains liberation from the bondage of samsara. Therefore, I shall now tell you the means for attaining ultimate liberation. Hear it attentively, O wise one, and listen to it carefully. First of all, cultivate devotion to Mahavishnu. That will purify your intellect, and you will thereby gain pure knowledge. You will then have the knowledge of the ever pure and unaffected truth. This knowledge being fully established, you will attain the supreme status of Brahman. Therefore, worship, adore, and have devotion for Sri Rama, who is none but Hari, the consort of Lakshmi, who transcends Prakriti and is all pervading. Abandoning your animosity that you have harbored due to your foolishness, take shelter at the feet of Rama, who is endearing towards all those who seek his shelter. Along with your sons and relatives, take Sita to Rama and restore her to him, making a full prostration as a sign of your submission. By doing so, you shall be free from all fears. How can thoughtless persons cross over the ocean of samsara with waves of misery raging in it without taking shelter in Rama with perfect devotion? Rama, who is the essence of bliss, non-dual being, and the Supreme Self, residing in the hearts of all. If you do not do this, you will sink into the depths of spiritual degradation without anyone to protect you from the burning fire of ignorance. You will never have an opportunity of being lifted from the travails of samsara. Hearing these nectar-like words of Hanuman, the 10-headed demon Ravana felt unbearable anger, and with eyes reddened, he spoke contemptuously to Hanuman. How dare you talk this kind of nonsense before me without any fear? You must be the most degenerate and evil-minded among the monkeys. Who is Rama? Who is this forest dweller Sugriva? Look, you monkey, I can kill that lowly Rama who has sought alliance with Sugriva single-handedly. But you are going to be killed immediately. And then Sita, the daughter of Janaka. After that, before long, I shall slay Rama and Lakshmana and the powerful monkey Sugriva along with his followers. Hearing these boastful words of the 10-headed Ravana, Hanuman was inflamed with anger and rebuked him as follows in a threatening mood, as if he was going to burn him up. He said, O wretched fellow, even crores of Ravanas like you will not be equal to me, for I am the messenger of Sri Rama, and there is no limit to my strength, valor, and prowess. These words of Hanuman drove Ravana to a mad fury, and he said, addressing a Rakshasa standing nearby, "Kill this monkey," cutting him into pieces. "Let all other Asuras and friends and relatives witness this execution." Thereupon, Vibhishana intervened and warded off the Asura who was advancing with his weapon for the execution. Vibhishana said, "O great king, he is a monkey sent as a messenger by another king. How can a monarch, noted for his courage and nobility, order him to be killed? That is highly improper. If you kill this messenger monkey now, then who will convey the news that Sita is in your captivity to Sri Rama, whom you are so eager and determined to kill? Therefore, think of some other equivalent punishment for this monkey. Let the monkey go back with the marks of punishment inflicted on his body. Seeing him, Rama will soon come here with Sugriva and engage himself in battle with you." Hearing this advice of Vibhishana, Ravana said, "The monkeys are very proud of their tails. Therefore, let his tail be wrapped with cloth and set fire to. Let him then be dragged through the whole city and then be set free, so that all the leaders of the monkey army may see his miserable condition." Then the Rakshasas wrapped and tied the tail of Hanuman very firmly with long strips of sack and various other kinds of cloth soaked in oil, and set fire to the tip of the tail. Then they bound him up with ropes, and a group of powerful monkeys then carried him round the city, repeatedly kicking him to the beating of drums, while proclaiming that this is a thief. Hanuman tolerated all this humiliation with a strategy in his mind. On reaching the western gate, he shrunk his body suddenly to a small size so that he could easily slip out of the trappings. Then he again assumed a colossus mountain-like form and leapt atop the tower of the gate, and uprooting one of the pillars of that edifice, he smashed all the demons. Then, deciding on his next course of action, he hopped from one building to another in the city with his burning tail and set fire to all the mansions and the other buildings. At that time was heard everywhere in Lanka the cries of women woefully lamenting, "O father, O dear, O son." Many of them even fell in the burning fire while trying to escape. In this manner, the whole of Lanka, with the exception of Vibhishana's house, was reduced to ashes. After that, Hanuman jumped into the ocean to douse his burning tail. He now felt satisfied that he had accomplished his task. Thanks to the friendship between Fire God and Wind God, who is the father of Hanuman, and also because of Sita's prayers, the fire did not burn his tail in the least. On the contrary, it became very cool for him. How can this worldly fire cause any harm to the messenger of Rama? Rama, by uttering whose name, people are rid of the effects of all the sins by which they even overcome the three fires of life, Tapatraya. To the special messenger of that Rama, how can this ordinary fire of this world inflict any injury? With this, we come to the end of this sarga. Let's get on with the chanting now. Adhyatma Ramayane Sundarakande Chaturthaha Sargaha Shri Mahadeva Uvacha Yantam Kapindram Dhrutapasha Bandhanam Vilokayantam Nagaram Vibhitavat Atadayan Mushtitalai Sukopanaha Paurah Samantadanu Ikshitum Brahmastramenam Kshanamatra Sangamam Krutva Gatam Brahmavarena Sattvaram Nyatva Hanumanapi Phalgurajjubihi Dhruto Yayau Karya Visesha Gauravat Sabhantarasthasya cha Ravanasya tam Puro nidhayaka balarijitada Baddho maya brahmavarena vanaraha Samagato nena hata mahasuraha Yadyuktamatrarya vicharya mantribihi Vidhiyatamesha nalaukiko harihi Tato vilokyaha sa rakshaseshwaraha प्रहस्तमग्रे स्थितमञ्जनाद्रिभं प्रहस्तपृच्छैनमसौ किमागतः किमत्र कार्यं कुत एव वानरः वनं किमर्थं सकलं विनाशितं हताः किमर्थं मम राक्षसा बलात् ततः प्रहस्तो हनुमन्तमादरात् पप्रच्छ केन प्रहितोऽसि वानर भयं च ते मास्तु विमोक्ष्यसे मया सत्यं वदस्वाखिलराजसन्निधौ ततोऽतिहर्षात् पवनात्मजो रिपुं निरीक्ष्य लोकत्रयकण्टकासुरम् वक्तुं प्रचक्रे रघुनाथ सत्कथा क्रमेण रामं मनसा स्मरन् मुहुः शृणु स्फुटं देवगणाद्यमित्रहे रामस्य दूतोऽहमशेषहृत्स्थितेः यस्याखिलेशस्य हृताधुना त्वया भार्या स्वनाशाय शुनेव सद्धविः स राघवोऽभ्येत्य मतङ्गपर्वतं सुग्रीवमैत्रीमनलस्य सन्निधौ कृत्वैकबाणेन निहत्य वालिनं सुग्रीवमेवाधिपतिं चकारतं स वानराणामधिपो महाबली महाबलैर्वानरयूथकोटिभिः रामेण सार्धं सह लक्ष्मणेन भोः प्रवर्षणे वर्षयुतोऽवतिष्ठते सञ्चोदितास्तेन महाहरीश्वर धरासुता मार्गयितुं दिशो दश तत्राहमेकः पवनात्मजः कपिः सीतां विचिन्वन् शनकैः समागतः दृष्टा मया पद्मपलाशलोचना सीता कपित्वाद्विपिनं विनाशितं दृष्ट्वा ततोऽहं रभसा समागतान् मां हन्तु कामान् धृतचापसायकान् मया हतास्ते परिरक्षितं वपुः प्रियो हि देहोऽखिलदेहिनां प्रभो ब्रह्मास्त्रपाशेन निबध्य मां ततः समागमन्मेघनिनादनामकः स्पृष्ट्वैव मां ब्रह्मवरप्रभावतः त्यक्त्वा गतं सर्वमवैमि रावण तथाप्यहं बद्ध इवागतो हितं प्रवक्तुकामः करुणारसार्द्रधीः विचार्य लोकस्य विवेकतो गतिं न राक्षसीं बुद्धिमुपैहि रावण दैवीं गतिं संसृतिमोक्षहैतुकीं समाश्रयात्यन्तहिताय देहिनः त्वं ब्रह्मणो ह्युत्तमवंशसम्भवः पौलस्त्यपुत्रोऽसि कुबेरबान्धवः देहात्मबुद्ध्यापि च पश्य राक्षसो नास्यात्मबुद्ध्या किमु राक्षसो नहि शरीरबुद्धीन्द्रियदुःखसन्ततिः न तेन च त्वं तव निर्विकारतः अज्ञानहेतोश्च तथैव सन्ततेः असत्त्वमस्यास्वपतो हि दृश्यवत् इदं तु सत्यं तव नास्ति विक्रिया विकारहेतुर्न च ते द्वयत्वतः यथा नभः सर्वगतं न लिप्यते तथा भवान् देहगतोऽपि सूक्ष्मकः देहेन्द्रियप्राणशरीरसङ्गतः त्वामेति बुद्ध्वा किल बन्धभाग् भवेत् चिन्मात्रमेवाहमजोऽहमक्षरो ह्यानन्दभावोऽहमिति प्रमुच्यते देहोऽप्यनात्मा पृथिवी विकारजो न प्राण आत्मा निल एष एव सः मनोऽप्यहङ्कारविकार एव नो न चापि बुद्धिप्रकृतेर्विकारजा आत्मा चिदानन्दमयो विकारवान् देहादिसङ्घाद्व्यतिरिक्त ईश्वरः निरञ्जनो मुक्त उपाधितः सदा ज्ञात्वैवमात्मानमितो विमुच्यते अतोऽहमात्यन्तिकमोक्षसाधनम् वक्ष्ये शृणुष्वावहितो महामते विष्णोर्हि भक्तिः सुविशोधनं धियः ततो भवेज्ञानमतीव निर्मलम् विशुद्धतत्त्वानुभवो भवेत्ततः सम्यग्विदित्वा परमं पदं व्रजेत् अतो भजस्वाद्य हरिं रमापतिं रामं पुराणं प्रकृतेः परं विभुं विसृज्य मौर्ख्यं हृदि शत्रुभावना भजस्व रामं शरणागतप्रियं सीतां पुरस्कृत्य सपुत्रबान्धवो रामं नमस्कृत्य विमुच्यसे भयात् रामं परात्मानभावयन् जनो भक्त्या हृदि स्थं सुखरूपमद्वयम् कथं परं तीरमवाप्नुयाज्जनो भवाम्बुदे दुःखतरङ्गमालिनः नो चेत्त्वमज्ञानमयेन वह्निना ज्वलन्तमात्मानमरक्षितारिवत् नयस्य दोधः स्वकृतैश्च पातकैः विमोक्षशङ्का न च ते भविष्यति श्रुत्वामृतास्वादसमानभाषितं तद्वायुसूनोर्दशकन्धरोऽसुरः अमृष्यमाणोतिरुषा कपीश्वरं जगादरक्तान्तविलोचनोज्ज्वलन् कथं ममाग्रे विलपस्य भीतवत् प्लवङ्गमानामधमोऽसि दुष्टधीः क एष रामः कतमो वनेचरो निहन्मि सुग्रीवयुतं नराधमम् त्वां चाद्य हत्वा जनकात्मजां ततो निहन्मि रामं सह लक्ष्मणं ततः सुग्रीवमग्रे बलिनं कपीश्वरं स वानरं हन्यचिरेण वानर श्रुत्वा दशग्रीववचः समारुतिः विवृद्धकोपेन दहन्निवासुरं न मे समारावणकोटयोधम रामस्य दासोऽहमपारविक्रमः श्रुत्वातिकोपेन हनूमतो वचः दशाननो राक्षसमेवमब्रवीत् पार्श्वे स्थितं मारय खण्डशः कपिं पश्यन्तु सर्वे सुरमित्रबान्धवाः निवारयामास ततो विभीषणो महासुरं सायुधमुद्यतं वधे राजन्वधार्हो न भवेत् कथञ्चन प्रतापयुक्तैः परराजवानरः हतेऽस्मिन् वानरे दूते वार्ता को वा निवेदयेत् रामाय त्वं यमुद्दिश्य वधाय समुपस्थितः अतो वधसमं किञ्चिदन्यचिन्तय वानरे सचिह्नो गच्छतु हरिः यं दृष्ट्वा यास्यति द्रुतम् रामः सुग्रीवसहितः ततो युद्धं भवेत् तव विभीषणवचः श्रुत्वा रावणोऽप्येतदब्रवीत् वानराणां हि लाङ्गूले महामानो भवेत् किल अतो वस्त्रादिभिः पुच्छं वेष्टयित्वा प्रयत्नतः वह्निना योजयित्वैनं भ्रामयित्वा पुरेभितः विसर्जयत पश्यन्तु सर्वे वानरयूथपाः तथेति शणपट्टैश्च वस्त्रैरन्यैरनेकशः तैलाक्तैर्वेष्टयामासुः लाङ्गूलं मारुतेर्दृढम् पुच्छाग्रे किञ्चिदनलं दीपयित्वाथ राक्षसाः रज्जुभिः सुदृढं बद्ध्वा धृत्वा तं बलिनोऽसुराः समन्ताद्भ्रामयामासुः चोरोऽयम् इति वादिनः तूर्यघोषैर्घोषयन्तः ताडयन्तो मुहुर्मुहुः हनुमतापि तत्सर्वं सोढं किञ्चिच्चिकीर्षुणा गत्वा तु पश्चिमद्वार समीपं तत्र मारुतिः सूक्ष्मो बभूव बन्धेभ्यो निःसृतः पुनरप्यसौ बभूव पर्वताकारः तत उत्प्लुत्य गोपुरम् तत्रैकं स्तम्भमादाय हत्वा तान् रक्षिणक्षणात् विचार्य कार्यशेषं सः प्रासादाग्राद् गृहाद् गृहम् उत्प्लुत्योत्प्लुत्य सन्दीप्त पुच्छेन महता कपिः ददाह लङ्कामखिलां साट्टप्रासादतोरणां हातातपुत्रनाथेति क्रन्दमाना समन्ततः व्याप्ता प्रासादशिखरेऽप्यारूढा दैत्ययोषितः देवता इव दृश्यन्ते पतन्त्यः पावकेऽखिलाः विभीषणगृहं त्यक्त्वा सर्वं भस्मीकृतं पुरं तत उत्प्लुत्य जलधौ हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः लाङ्गूलं मज्जयित्वान्तः स्वस्थचित्तो बभूव सः वायोप्रियसखित्वाच्च सीतया प्रार्थितो नलः न ददाह हरेः पुच्छं बभूवात्यन्तशीतलः यन्नाम संस्मरणधूतसमस्तपापाः तापत्रयानलमपीह तरन्ति सद्यः तस्यैव किं रघुवरस्य विशिष्टदूतः सन्तप्यते कथमसौ प्रकृतानलेन। इति श्रीमध्यात्मरामायणे उमामहेश्वरसंवादे सुन्दरकाण्डे 4th सर्गः।